Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Live Simply with Natalie P. My name is Natalie Pickett, and I hope that you have had a wonderful week. And I hope that you are also caught up on all the F-bombs that we have been dropping over the past few weeks. Now, before we dive in, I want to give a special welcome to any of our new viewers. I am so glad to have you here. And I want to break down simply, in case you're not sure or not familiar with what it means. So simply is an acronym. It's spelled S.E.M.P.L.Y, S-E.M.P.L.Y, and it stands for spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically loving you. It's a faith-centered approach to living fully, growing intentionally, and walking boldly in your purpose. Everything I do as it relates to Live Simply, whether it's writing, speaking, or creating content, it ties back to helping people, helping you live whole, faith-filled, and purposeful lives, all with joy. Your joy should be on 100. Just saying. All right. So, and that's where Live Simply with Natalie P comes in. This is a space for you, anyone who wants to grow spiritually, personally. We can weave in some professionalism as well, professionally, and who just want real conversations, practical wisdom, and to grow spiritually and personally. It's just encouragement every week to help you live this faith-filled life every single day. So if that is you, if that is something that you are hoping to do, that you want to do, that you want to grow and develop in, this place is for you. Now, we're going to get into our topic for today. If you're new here or if you need a refresher, we have been dropping F-bombs for the past couple of weeks. Remember, every Monday, okay, I'm human. Most Mondays, you can find a blog that will give the foundation of whatever we're going to be discussing on the vlog later that week. Okay. So the past couple of weeks, every Monday, you have been given a blog at livesimply.com/blogs, focusing on one of the F-bombs that we have dropped. Our first one was fear. Our second one was frustration. And last week we were dropping the F-bomb of failure. And so definitely go back, read those blogs, because not only am I setting the foundation or giving you some just basic information on the topic, but I also do give you some strategies and things you can implement right away. The goal is then on Thursday, most Thursdays, sometimes Saturday, like today, I'll drop a vlog, which is going to give a bit more detail into that topic and additional strategies and tips for you to do. It's not about just giving the information, but in order to grow and to change, we have to actually implement specific things in our lives. And so that's my goal, to give you some things to implement as you live this simply life. Now, today we are dropping our last F-bomb, which is, drum roll please, it is fatigue. How many of y'all tired? Not tired, but tired. Because that would be me. But the joy of the Lord is my strength. Okay, so fatigue. Let me tell you. Now, fatigue, this one is real. I mean, they're all real, but this one is real. Like, unlike fear or frustration, failure, fatigue doesn't necessarily show up as loud as the others. You know, it drains us. It drains us. And before we know it, we are running on empty. And that can be physically, emotionally, and or spiritually, all of the above. So if you're feeling burnt out or exhausted, or you're just over it, like if you said 5 times this week, I'm just over it, you are not alone. You're not alone. Today, we are going to dig a bit deeper into the topic, and not just talking about fatigue, but like I said, I'm going to leave you with some things, some strategies on how to drop it. But when you hear the strategies, you actually have to begin to implement the strategies. But let's talk about fatigue here. Since we're here, let's talk about it. So why does fatigue hit so hard? Why do you think it hits so hard? Anyone? This is me acting like I can hear you speaking. Because I'm a facilitator too. I love to interact and engage like in trainings and things like that. So, but yes, yeah, all those things you said, yes, fatigue isn't just about being tired. It's actually, fatigue is like a sign that something is off. Something is off in our body, in our mind. our spirit. It's telling us not only is something off, but something has to change. So we're going to look at 4 types of fatigue that we will, that you may experience. You may be experiencing them currently. Know somebody that is. If you do, tell them about this YouTube page and blog website. But it may be that you will experience it. And then once you do, you're like, oh, I remember Natalie talking about this. Let me go back to that blog and that vlog and watch and read upon it. Okay. But we're looking at 4 types of fatigue. The first one, physical fatigue. The one I think that most of us know about, most of us are aware of. You're exhausted no matter how much sleep you get. Your body feels sluggish, and even small tasks feel huge. That's, in a nutshell, physical fatigue. There's also mental fatigue. Decision making feels impossible. It's a challenge to make decisions. Your brain feels foggy and you can't focus. Emotional fatigue. You're overwhelmed, irritable, and easily frustrated. Those are signs of emotional fatigue. And spiritual fatigue. Prayer feels like a chore. Worship feels distant, and your faith feels drained. So as we see, fatigue isn't just about sleep. I know that's what most of us connect it to, but it's not just about sleep. It's about depletion. And when you're constantly pouring out without refueling, something has got to give. And you know what? God knew about this. That's why in his word in Matthew 11:28, the NIV version, it says, come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. So there's first point there. If we're fatigued, we have to come to God, come to him, lay it all out. We're weary, we're burdened, we got to give it to him, and he will give us rest. Just wanted to plug that in, commercial break. Now back to fatigue. Now, when you don't deal with fatigue, it starts messing with everything. Ask me how I know. I think I maybe said that with every vlog of the F-bomb. Ask me how I know. I know because I've lived it or live in it, right? But when you don't deal with fatigue, it starts messing with everything. First thing that we want to look at that it messes with is your health. Now, I do know there are specific illnesses that produce fatigue. You know, certain illnesses, you're going to be fatigued. But stress, headaches, tension, sore, achy muscles, appetite loss, blurry vision can all show up when your body is burnt out or fatigued as well. So it does begin messing with your health. Fatigue can also mess with your relationships. When you're drained, you don't have the capacity for others. You withdraw or get easily irritated. Creating meaningful connections are tough because they require time and patience. And all of that, like giving someone else your time or just having patience with others, can be extremely difficult when you are fatigued. So fatigue messes with your health. It can also mess with your relationships. It messes with your faith. When you're exhausted, it's easy to feel distant from God. Praying, reading your Bible, or even just believing for more feels hard. It does. And also, it messes with your purpose. Fatigue can make you lose motivation and second guess what you're doing, making you want to quit altogether. So when we, because I deal with it too, when we ignore fatigue, it doesn't just go away. It compounds, like it gets bigger and greater, and it begins to affect many and multiple aspects of your life. So instead of pushing through, listen, and how many of us just feel like, I know I'm tired, I don't feel well, and we just want to push through anyway because that's how we were raised, or we just feel like that's how I show I'm strong when I just push through when I'm tired or when I don't feel up to it. No, strength is knowing this is not right for me. I got to do something about it. And if that means I got to take a nap or drop some things, that's what I'm going to do. That's what strength is. So all that to say, instead of pushing through, like many of us have been raised to do, or just feel like that's the way to show that you're strong, you need to drop some things. So we're going to drop fatigue, and I'm going to give you some ways on how to do just that. Remember, fatigue will not fix itself. You have to intentionally refill, reset, and restore. And here is how. Now, I know some of these, you're going to be like, Lord, it's hard. It is hard because it just is. But you really need to look at these specific things that I'm sharing with you and drop some of these things. And that's going to help you drop fatigue. First one, check your capacity. Are you doing the most? Are you doing too much? Be real with yourself. What things can you delegate or release? And I'm going to switch that. What things can you release? And if you absolutely cannot release it in this season, what can you delegate? So many of us are involved in so many things because we feel that's what we have to do. We feel that's what's going to make us look amazing. We feel that we're going to let somebody down, so we just hold on to it, or that will look like a failure. But no, you won't, because we dropped failure last week, right? So what things, check your capacity. What are you doing that you need to put down? Are you doing too much? Are you doing the most with your life right now? Okay, so think about things that you can totally release. Maybe take some, no, not maybe, take some time, some quiet time. I know. When does that happen? Make some quiet time, schedule it in, and write down all the things that you're involved in, where you're filling in for things or people or whatever you may be doing, and then circle, highlight, scratch out the things that you need to let go or what you need to delegate, and actually make steps to do so. Next thing, prioritize true rest. So rest isn't just sleep. It's stepping away, unplugging from all the things, and giving your mind and body what it needs. How hard is that? Sorry, desk. But yes, prioritizing true rest. And actually, my product shout out is going to help you to identify where you need to actually prioritize rest. Can't wait to share that with you. But yes, it isn't just about sleep. I think we talked about it or looked at other ways that you can be fatigued mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So it's not always about sleep, but those things can also make you physically tired. So look at how you need to unplug, all right, to give your mind and your body what it needs, which is true rest. Also, next one, protect your yes. Stop overcommitting. Every yes to something unnecessary is a no to your peace. Bada bing, bada boom. Right? But protect your yes. You don't have to say yes to everything. Look, it's okay to let some people down sometimes. You can't be like the superhero to everyone. Like, you cannot. So protect your yes. Stop overcommitting, which takes us back to number one, checking your capacity. Some of us are overcommitting to things. It's time to protect your yes. Next one, see your doctor. Have you had your annual checkups? Your annual visits? For us 40 and plus, all the other things that you need to be doing annually to make sure that you are healthy and whole. So get all the things checked out. You want to make sure there's nothing going on internally that is bringing on this fatigue as well. So definitely seeing your doctor, making all the appointments, and do it stat. Fuel your body and mind. Eat nourishing foods. Move your body, work out, exercise, and feed your mind with truth and encouragement. When you feed your mind with negativity, you're gonna have some fatigue. Perfect example, our world right now. Lots going on. And many of us are constantly filling our minds with all the executive orders that are being signed, or all the different changes that are taking. And I get it. We need to be informed and be aware of what's going on. But when you're constantly feeding, if that's all you're feeding yourself 24/7, 365, you will become fatigued. So feed your mind truth and encouragement. Find podcasts and YouTube pages. Oh, hello, Live Simply with Natalie P. But find things that are going to feed you encouragement. Find a church that you can go to that you will receive a Bible-based word every week. Find something, making sure that you are feeding yourself truth and encouragement. Lastly, reconnect with God. The best rest isn't found in a nap. I know. Oh, who would have thought? No, stop. The best rest isn't found in a nap. It's found in God. So spending time in his presence and let him refresh you. And yes, spiritual fatigue is real. Some of us feel like, I don't have that connection. I don't feel God. I don't feel God. I don't see him present. He's omnipresent. He's always there, whether you feel him or not. Sometimes you just got to make yourself get in that presence, right? Worship him. Find a scripture, a Bible verse that you can read every day. All the things that are going to keep you connected to God. Find prayer time. The more you do it, the more that you will become, and you will get that encouragement again, or you'll receive that reconnection. Once again, ask me how I know. All right. So another scripture I want to leave with you is Isaiah 40:31. It says, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. It is possible to drop fatigue. It's tough though, because a lot of these things that I just shared, many of us don't want to do. We don't really want to face the truth as it relates to how we're spending our time, or how many people we're saying yes to when we should be saying no, or that, yeah, we got to put the Popeyes down or the candy because it's not really nourishing our bodies. So those can be hard things to do because we're human. We don't want to do that. Like that coffee, that Starbucks, that blesses us every morning when we are feeling fatigued. But slow changes and shifts to get your mind and your body and your spirit back on track will help you. All right. So speaking of product shout out, it has to do with rest. It is a book that I want to share with you. However, I cannot find mine. And that book is dope. I'm like, where is it? I cannot find it, but you need to. Product shout out goes to the book called Sacred Rest by Dr. Sandra Dalton Smith. Sacred Rest by Sandra Dalton Smith. And yes, she is a doctor. This book is dope because it breaks down 7 types of rest. There are 7: physical rest, mental, spiritual, emotional, sensory, social, and creative rest. These are all types of rest, and it really explains why we need more than a nap, like I said earlier, to feel whole again. So in this book, Dr. Dalton Smith blends science, faith, and real life stories to help you see rest not as a luxury, but as something sacred and essential. Even the Lord rested after he created like the entire world. On the 7th day he rested. So yeah, it's a reminder we all need rest. So, you're allowed to stop. You're allowed to breathe. You're allowed to just be. And this book helps you to do just that. One thing I liked about the book too is that you can take an assessment or an evaluation for every area of rest, every type of rest, to see which ones are really draining your energy. And then you can focus on that. And she provides strategies, and it's really good stuff. Good stuff. So it's not just about info, but once again, that application piece that we all need. So once again, product shout out is Sacred Rest, the book Sacred Rest by Dr. Sandra Dalton Smith. And I am mad I can't find mine. I'll be tearing up the house later. But anywho, so yes, so excited for you because one, you've stuck it out with me. We've had 4 F-bombs. We are all through with them, but you always have this content that you can go back, you can share with others. If you're ever feeling fear, frustration, failure, or fatigue, you can always come back and get these strategies to help you. Remember, fatigue is real, but you don't have to live with it. Give yourself grace, be kind to yourself, give yourself rest and the wisdom to set boundaries, to say no, to drop some things. All right. And give yourself just that time in that space. And also have faith and trust God that he can carry you when you can't, because there's sometimes that we just can't do it. All right. So drop this F-bomb along with the other 3, and we will see you on the blog on Monday. And who knows what we'll be talking about? I don't even know yet, but God will give it to me and I'll be ready to give it to you. All right. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in, and let's go.